Man, I look chopped and unk, bro. I promise I'm just tired. What's up, guys? Oh, okay, forehead. Get ready with me to go comic book shopping while I talk about why I stopped reading comic books for so long. Me and my history of comic books. Where's my concealer? I was a huge movie nerd as a kid. Still am. Like, I'm the exact same way, believe it or not. And my dad grew up reading comic books and loving superheroes, so I watched a lot of superhero movies as a kid. So when I was around the age of like reading, I started reading comic books. My dad's like really old like X-Men and Spider-Man collection. He pretty much exclusively read Marvel. I did as well, even though my favorite movies were Superman, like the 70s Christopher Reeve's Superman. That and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, because that's how old I am. So I like would read them as a kid, especially because he had like a huge collection. And actually a funny story about that, kind of how that came to be, is he kept them all at my grandparents' house. And then my grandparents' house flooded really bad right before they moved. They found all of his like old toys and stuff, and in it was just like a load of comic books. So I started reading them. And at the time I was like a book a day kind of girl, because that's the kind of person I was in elementary school. The kind of person I am now, truly. So like comic books were really nice because I could read them in one sitting and then move on to the next. And I stayed reading them until probably I want to say my freshman year of high school. I want to say going into my freshman year of high school is around when I stopped reading comic books. Was in middle school and high school. Like that was my thing, was movies. And specifically superhero movies. And I kind of started getting more into like novels, actual book series like The Hunger Games and Harry Potter in like middle school. So I kind of stopped. When I was in high school, early high school, I wanted to try adventuring into buying my own comics, not from like an antique store, like newer comics from a comic book store. I wanted to adventure into that sort of realm. I realized very quickly that as a young teenage girl, it wasn't a safe space for me, at least in my area. Like, I didn't feel welcomed, I felt judged very much so. And it's, granted, I could have been 14 and like kind of making it up, not necessarily making it up, but like just being kind of dramatic, because that, you know, that's what you do when you're 14. But also, the comic book community is notoriously very sexist. Dude, I felt that. I just felt weird being in comic book stores, at least the ones in like my area, and then I actually went on vacation the year before I went into high school. And so I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go to the comic book store here, because like that, like it's cool to go to a different comic book store. And I asked the guy who worked there for recommendations, and he was like, oh, okay, well, like what are your favorite like heroes, what universe do you prefer? I told him, and all of the recommendations he gave me were like, I was probably 14 at the time, were like strangely sexual towards women. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go to a comic book store ever again, probably. And I was so just kind of perturbed by it that like, I just never went into a comic book store again. And I was like, okay, that's like weird as on top of the already inherently, you know, sexist things people would say to me, specifically older men would say about me like liking superheroes and like liking comic books. I realized it wasn't a safe space for me. Pretty much any girl out there who like is into superheroes or into comic books or into like even things like Dungeons and Dragons or like Magic the Gathering, it's not really a safe space for us, like, honestly, still to this day. And if you have found a community that, like, works for you, I love that for you, and I'm so happy for you. But that just wasn't my experience, and I think I was too young to realize that that wasn't gonna be my experience. Very sad, inherently. And so I was thinking about that after last summer, when Superman, the new Superman came out. I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, like I really wish that like I could get into comics again, and like I really miss reading them. I miss being part of that like community, and I want to get into it again, but I just like I couldn't work up the courage to like even try again because it is daunting. There is so much in the realm of comic books that it's like, it's hard to find a place to start, especially when you're switching, not that I'm switching universes, not that I'm switching brands, but like I want to try. Well, I'll talk about that actually. It's hard to like find a place to start. And so it's a daunting task, especially when you've had such poor experiences with the comic book community. So the other day, I had an epiphany that I was like, I'm an adult. If I want to like get back into this, I totally can. And there is absolutely no one stopping me. The only person stopping me is myself. You know, like I don't need a community. I don't need friends who are into this. So I went to a Second and Charles, I put my headphones in, and I spent 2 hours there just like perusing, and I realized I haven't done that since I was in elementary school, and I was so happy about it. I had so much fun. I didn't even end up buying anything, and I still just like had a blast. So today we are gonna go buy some comic books, and I'm gonna pick out some Superman comics, and I'm gonna read them. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. I hate this stuff, low-key. It smells like fake tan. We're switching over to DC. Well, not entirely, because I've never been one of those girls that is like so very strictly DC or Marvel, because I've never read a DC comic, ever. So I'm gonna. Comic books now are so expensive. Granted, I've been buying my comic books for the past like 10 years at like thrift stores. It's gonna be alright. I'm gonna keep y'all updated. But I will say, tomorrow, this will also be in this vlog. Tomorrow I am going antiquing, and we will be looking for comic books. Super stoked about that. Get in, loser. We're healing our inner child. We've arrived at the Holy Land. She's right there. Let's go in. I'm so excited. Okay, so I just got out of Marshall's because the Marshall's is right next to Second and Charles. It's so hot out. I need to have the AC on. Just got out of Marshall's because the Marshall's is right next to Second and Charles, and got a whole haul of stuff I needed, which is nice. I didn't buy anything I didn't need. I'm so proud of myself because I almost did. Oh my god, there's someone right next to me. I didn't even realize that. That's so, actually owning it. So it was actually really sweet because when I was in Second and Charles, there was a girl in there with her grandma buying comic books, and she probably couldn't have been older than like 15. And I was like, oh, that's what today's all about. That's what it's all about, baby. That's what it's all about. And she was looking at like Nightwing comics, and I was like, good for you, Diva. Good for you. So we're gonna go to Target and do a haul when I get home. Y'all ever be thinking about Eminem? I quite truly only ever think about Eminem, and it's like, I think about Eminem frequently, but every time I think about Eminem, it's like, how the hell did we let him get away with that for so long? Just like being him. How did we let him do that for so long? Like, just the concept of Eminem. But man, he made some great songs, and also some horrible songs. It's impressive, quite frankly. Quite a great career on his end. I don't know what it is about back to school shopping that makes me so unbelievably anxious, but it does. And like I feel like I'm gonna throw up a little bit. I don't know. I need to text my roommate, so. I'm back from my adventures, my outings, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna give you a haul of all the stuff that's not school related, because eventually down the line I'm gonna make a big, long moving into school video. First stop, Second and Charles. I got this really cute little bookmark. Has a little goblin on it, and then it has another little goblin on the back. It was like $5, super cute, and I don't have a bookmark. The reason I got a bookmark is because I got Superman Birthright, and the pages are like paper instead of like that super kind of flimsy comic book material that the other ones are. So, is this a safe space? Because I may or may not dog ear my pages. Don't yell at me. I know that that's like a thing that people like to be fake upset about. I think it's cooler if a book looks well loved and worn and read, especially because I collect them. clearly. So it's cool if you look at every single one of these books and see that they've all been read, because they have. Superman Birthright. I was doing a little bit of research on getting into DC. This was the one that was recommended for girlies who like Superman. This is the like book that David Cornsweet's Superman is based off of. Very excited about this, and it was only 10 bucks. The way that I was picking was based off of art style and how many volumes were in a series. Superman Earth 1, I thought, is this a safe space? I think the art style bothered me the least out of this. I'm very, 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 very picky about my comics art style, and art style is something in a comic book that's very important to me. Somewhat enjoyed the art style of this and how it's kind of like moody, and I did end up reading like half of it in the store, which is why I went ahead and got the second volume. One thing that really pissed me off, I was trying to make this as cheap as possible because I went to Second and Charles instead of like a comic book store or like a thrift store or an antique store where they tend to be cheaper. The paperback was $6. Honestly, that's like pretty good. It was $15 originally, like something that's still in good shape and newer and paperback. Keeping that in mind, then for the second and third volumes, they only had the hardcover of them. So I got the hardcover for the second volume, which was 12 bucks. Didn't love that, and it really bugs me that this one's paperback and then this one's hardcover, but I wasn't gonna get all hardcover and then spend $1 million. I already spent 30 for just these 3 comics, and I'm gonna get more tomorrow. So Target. I went to Target. Wait, Marshall's. Literally only stuff for school. And I've convinced myself that this candle was stuff for school. I was gonna save it, but I shan't. That's all I got at Marshall's, actually. Okay, then Target, I got 2 things that weren't re-up on my favorite lotion. Smells fantastic, but for all intents and purposes, it's awful and I hate it. And you shouldn't listen to me. This is the worst lotion ever. I am a huge Assistant to the Villain fan. The only books that I only have them on my Kindle, except for that one, which is like a trophy book. So it's nice to like have, but I'm too impatient, and because Adversary to the Villain came out not that long ago, I had to go ahead and cop this. Oh my god, the cover's so cute. I am worried that this is gonna be a little too millennial for me. What I like about that Assistant to the Villain is it's a rom-com, so it's supposed to be kind of chuggy and like stupid and fun, and I had a great time with it. I love it. The next 2 books low-key sucked ass, but now I'm like in it, and now I have to like see what happens. So I am nervous about reading this. However, I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm annoying. Tomorrow we're going antiquing, which is going to be so fun. See you tomorrow.
I didn't know that this was a product that they made or needed something more. Oh my god. For the vlog. It's a potato kid. The find of the day. There's a lot of things in here. It's just a bunch of Princess Diana stuff. It's a bunch of British stuff. I'm surprised they don't have the Princess Diana Beanie Baby. 5. This is all that stuff. There's like a million Princess Diana. Oh my god. Bro, Elvis, what the heck? Mama, they touched Elvis. Me and bro. I love Vietnam, personally. Not my favorite war, but up there. Hello. Hello. Oh my god. Look. That's so cute. Aww. This on my wall would be adorable. Manipulating me into buying Cal Ripken. I need you to get it. I won't send you $25. I will send you $5 to cover the $5 difference. The $5 difference so I can own this picture of Cal Ripken. Sleepy Hollow? I can't see.